Hello kids. So I know you're wondering, what is shaking in Boomerville today? Well, I'm going to tell you what's shaking. Chicken wings. He-Man chicken wings. I've been making chicken wings for a long time. And back in 1998, I believe it was 1998 because I found a label that I put on gift jars that was dated 1998. I came up with this little recipe that I called He-Man sauce. So I'm going to show you how to do it, and we're going to cook some wings. Let's go. First, in our chopstick here, we're going to use some Louisiana hot sauce. I love this stuff. We go through a lot of it. So we're going to start out with 8 ounces of the what I call LHS, the Louisiana Hot Sauce. Those Cajuns and their peppers, there's something else. There's about 8 ounces. Next, we're going to add 2.5 ounces of Tabasco. I try to keep these measurements fairly close. So we have 2.5 ounces of Tabasco. It used to be 5 ounces, but when I discovered Sriracha, which didn't exist in 1998 to my knowledge, I decided to change out half of the Tabasco with Sriracha, and I think it made it better. Woo. So we're going to do 2.5 ounces of Sriracha. Next, we're going to use some low sodium soy sauce, and we're going to do 1 ounce of that. Kikkoman. Ounce of that, and then we're gonna do, I'm doubling this. I need actually 2 ounces of soy sauce. So let's add another one. That's somewhere in the neighborhood. Next, we're gonna do 1 ounce of teriyaki, which is basically sweetened soy sauce. So that goes in. Kikkoman again. It's the original teriyaki, I'm sure. And finally, we are going to do 2 teaspoons of ground black pepper. That's going to give it a nice little fire at the end. We take our trusty chopstick and mix that together just to incorporate. All right, so now if we did our math right, and I think we did, we have 16 ounces of He-Man sauce. Whew, I can smell it. Okay, for the wings, I find that 1 ounce will do about 8 wings, something like that. When I say 8 wings, I mean 8 segments. So I've got 10 wings. So I'm going to do about 1.5 ounces of this sauce. Actually, I've got about 2, but that's okay. I'm not going to sweat it. So this, we're going to add into a saucepan with a little bit of butter. Okay, so now that is in a saucepan. We're going to add a little bit of butter to that. I don't know teaspoons and tablespoons of butter, but for that I'm going to add maybe 1/3 of an inch of butter. Do it however you like it. I'm going to heat up some oil, and I will be back. All right, in this pot I have about 2/3 of a gallon of oil. So what we're going to do is heat that. I'm going to heat it up to about 380, 390 degrees. I want to cook at 375. We're going to cook these wings for 10 minutes at 375 degrees. But when I put the cold wings into the hot oil, it's going to cool off the temperature of the oil. So I've got my marker here, and I'm going to let this heat. And when it's ready, I'll be back. All right, the oil is about 380, 385 degrees. I have 5 chicken wings here. It's very important that you dry these. I had them in the fridge and they dried out, but when you take them out of the fridge, they tend to condensate. So let's kind of get rid of some of that extra moisture. And we're going to drop these in for 10 minutes. Drop them in slowly. You don't want to splash hot oil. Now, that's going to drop the temperature down. So the temperature's dropped to about 340. I'm going to crank up the heat a little bit. And I'm going to monitor that and try to hold it right around 375 once it gets there. Should take these about 10 minutes or 12. This is 5 whole wings or 10 segments. I used to cook the segments, but now I've started cooking the whole wing. I think it makes them a little more juicy inside. And these are large wings. So if it's not quite 10 minutes, depending on how they look, maybe I'll let them go 12, but no longer than that. While I'm doing that, I'm gonna barely heat this sauce up. I just want to get it hot and melt the butter. I find that putting hot sauce on a hot wing helps the sauce adhere to it a lot better. So while I'm waiting, I have some news. I heard that Raul Castro, you know Raul, he's the HMFIC in Cuba. Well, a couple of days ago, he announced that he was stepping down. And I think that's good news. So while I don't have a mojito, I do have a margarita. But it's in a mojito glass from La Bodeguita del Medio, which is a world-famous bar with a few locations scattered around. I happen to buy these in Mexico, and they're the perfect size, not only for a margarita, but for a mojito. Let's try one. Now we're back up to about 375. You need to watch this. Don't let it get too hot. Always watch boiling oil like you would a 3-year-old at the pool. So I'm going to lower this down and try to regulate it a little bit. Keep it at around 375. And after about 10 minutes, I'll be back. All right, it's been about 12 minutes. These are looking pretty good. I'm going to take them out. I use this little spider because it really does a nice job of draining the oil. By the way, when you're deep frying, especially when you're not using a coating, there's not as many calories as people would lead you to believe. So what we're going to do while we're waiting on that is I have some fries. Woo! In they go. And while they're cooking, and they won't take long, we're going to pour the sauce over these wings. I'm going to toss these really well. Get that sauce into all the nooks and crannies. Actually, my 2 ounces on this batch was about right. These are some really big wings. We'll let those sit there for a minute and back to the fries. All right, let's see how we're doing here. They usually take around 5 minutes. These are steak fries, so they're a little bit bigger. Temperature's right. I'm going to pull this thermometer out of here because it gets in my way. Okay, the fries are floating. They're golden brown. I'm going to turn off the heat. I have a bowl which is lined in paper towels to collect some of that oil. Although the spider really does do a good job. That's all of those. Hit those with a little salt. Awesomeness. All right, we've got our wings. We also have some celery and carrots and some blue cheese. Let's build a plate. Put a couple of these bad boys on a plate. Some celery, some carrots, the blue cheese, which traditional is always take a bite first. These wings are super duper hot. Well, let's see if we can break one. Look at this. Ooh, you see the steam coming off of that? Nice and crispy. I'm going to dip them in some blue cheese. Are really hot. Crack this bone. Open that up. Look at that. Blue cheese. Comes right off the bone. Let's do another one. Look at that. This is messy but awesome. And I think I'll have a little bit of celery. Cool that down. Beautiful. Ketchup for the fries. See how we did here. They look nice, huh? They're just store-bought fries. Finally, thank you, Raul. Your time is up. All right, well, there's a baseball game coming on. So I'm going to take this and go sit down and turn on the baseball and have myself a nice little dinner. You should try this. It's super freaking awesome. So until next time, I am checking out of Boomerville, and we'll see you again real soon.